My name's Bryan Murray, and I'm from Nitro, West Virginia. I moved to the city in 2002 to Brooklyn, lived there for 11 years, and had kids and moved out to Watchung, New Jersey. So I'm happy to have my paintings in the Watchung Arts Center. I think everything I do is related to the fact that I'm a jazz musician. I learned music, I was a sax player from 5th grade till now, and I'm really into free jazz and improvisation. So for me, painting, I didn't go to school for painting, I just started painting because I love looking at paintings, going to the museums in the city when I moved to Brooklyn. That's what started my love of painting, and so I'm not thinking, I don't really plan things, I just get in my space with materials and I just go. I try and get into a zone and not thinking too much, and what happens, happens. At the beginning, for a lot of people, it was Jackson Pollock's work, because being a jazz musician and especially into free jazz, like his way of painting was very liberating and freeing and open and kind of like a kick in the face to every other painter with like all these skills, and something about that like really got me. Because it's the same way I feel about music. Is like the best thing about jazz performance is when it gets off the page and no one's really thinking about things and they can just be in the moment. So his work struck me first, for sure. And also Picasso, just seeing Picasso's work in person at MoMA when we moved to Brooklyn, it was like, just blew me away. I would go to smaller galleries around the city, and I saw this painter, Clara Fialho, and her work really impressed me and influenced me. I had a friend who was a painter, M.P. Landis. He lives up in Maine now, and his work was really a big inspiration for me. Once I started reading about painting and trying to discover more artists, and going to museums, I found the work of Robert Rauschenberg. And I would say that's the biggest influence so far. When I saw he had a huge retrospective at MoMA, and it blew me away. I couldn't believe it. And I just, because I'm a musician, I'd never really seen his work before. I didn't know who he was, and I just walked into this room full of, it seemed like 1,000 works, and it was just unreal, especially the combines. The way he would just use anything, any material, and put it on the canvas or in a sculpture, it really hit something inside of me. His color palette, all of this muted colors and blacks and dirty browns and stuff that I would see around the city, I was like, oh my God, this is what, I love this. Well, when I'm painting, I approach it the same way as improvisation. It has a jazz element in the work because I try to clear my head, I get in the zone, and I improvise. This painting here is called an improvisation because it is whatever I'm feeling in the moment. And sometimes I'll listen to jazz while I paint. That's really, I've started to do that more and more. And just the different lines and colors there's a direct parallel to like musicians and the different sounds you get from a saxophone as opposed to the drums. Drums create this rhythm, there's a rhythm to a painting. So I think it's all connected. There's two really contrasting elements to this piece. There's some political statements in this piece against this playful kid-like thing. There's actual pieces of art that my kids bring home from school that I've cut up and started to use, and the beads are something of my daughter's that she brought home. So there's like there's definitely like a darkness and a lightness just fighting in this piece, which is I think why I like it. There's nothing I really want a viewer to like think about before they see my work. I want them just to have a clear mind and experience it. I don't like too much like, what's he going for? I totally like when people have a different interpretation of the work than I do. That's super cool. If someone sees my painting and they're like, they see this in it, I'm like, that's awesome. I'd rather have that happen than for me to explain, this is what I was thinking, this is what I see. I want you to think about this when you look at my work. That's just not, it's not the type of work I make. I'm deeply sentimental. There's stuff from my childhood that definitely goes into my work. I grew up in West Virginia, Chemical Valley, seeing these huge chemical plants with weaving pipes and stuff, these crazy structures, and that definitely had like this imprint on me when I was a kid.